Welcome back to the channel. Today we're jumping straight in to work on the Triumph 1200 RR. Some of my bits have arrived from Triumph, my first order. So let's go through it, have a look and jump straight in. Let's get working on this. Like I said, my first order arrived from Triumph. Thank you Triumph Santon so much. I really appreciate all the help and the speedy service. I phoned Paul up and I said these are the parts I need, and he got them for me so quickly. I really do appreciate it. Thank you Triumph Santon. Let's open. I think this is the crank cover, which is damaged. It's got a hole in over there. Yes, that's that. Make sure there's nothing else. Nice and new. Let's put that aside. Next box. This should be the front subframe. Yes, packaged very well. Ooh. Also very nice. Much better than the one I've got currently. That should be intake duct, which is a guides the air into the main frame to go directly into the air box. Okay, so that's that. Then I've got oil filter and sun plug washer, because I'm going to be doing an oil service as well. Because of the hole in the crank cover, I'm going to drain oil and put new oil. Yeah, we're using Motul 7100 10W60. And then last little box I've got is the crank cover gasket. They recommend replacing the gasket if you pull the cover off. Let's open this properly. I don't want to damage the gasket. That's new bolts. Comes with new bolts. And then the gasket itself. One last little thing which I forgot about. This also came with my order. It is the front key fob antenna. This mounts somewhere onto this. I think it goes over there, but we'll start having a look at that now. What I think I'm going to do first is start with the oil service. Let's do that. My first step for changing the crankcase cover, I'm going to take belly pan off and drain the oil. Let's start with that. Take belly pan off, and then I can put my sumpy underneath and drain the oil out the drain plug. I'm not sure how much oil is in there at the moment. This side of the belly pan is a 5mm Allen key, which I can take off quickly. And then that side there's two. So, yes, that's loose, and there's a sleeve sort of grommet that side. On this Puig aftermarket oil filler cap, there's a 2.5mm Allen key in the middle to lock the it's too tight, to lock that piece down so that people can't tamper, I guess. Okay. And that comes out, and then you can use a hex or a socket to take the oil filler cap out. You can see the corners are already damaged or marred, so I'm just going to use it like that. There we go. You can take that out.
Okay, the sump plug is a 8mm hex, so let me just crack that loose. That's tightening. Okay, and let me get my sumpy underneath so I don't make a bloody mess. I probably am. I'm gonna get oil all over myself. Let's see if I can do this without getting oil on me. Ha! I managed.
Oil's been draining for some time. Let's take the oil filter off. These Triumph oil filters are 64mm diameter with 14 sides. So I've got the 60, this is a 65-14 and it fits snug. The only problem about these Triumphs is the oil filter sits on the side and then oil drains all the way down your cables and shit. I don't know why they designed it like that, but anyway. There you can see. So there's going to be a bit of cleanup to do. The oil is draining. I'm going to take the crankcase cover off. That is just the 8mm hex. Just in case it wants to fall off, I'm going to hold it. Also got an oil rag handy. There's the old cover, and from this side you can't exactly see the hole behind all the oil, but there you can see oil is coming out. And I think the metal fragment is inside here. Yeah, that looks the same shape as that hole. Check that out. Or something like that. I think we're safe. I don't think there's any bits of metal inside the motor. Let's hope. Having a closer look, I see there appears to be something up there, so let me try and see if I can get that out. Looks like a little flake of metal. Yeah, I did get it. It broke as soon as I tried to touch it. This is a clean rag. Just gonna try and wipe inside here, make sure that there's no other metal fragments or anything. Later, when I drain the sumpy, I'm gonna run it through a strainer to make sure that or see if there's any fragments or anything inside the oil itself. But I'll do that now. Installing the new crankcase, there's a process involved. I'll put this image up on screen for you guys to see. But essentially there's a torquing pattern, or pattern that you've got to torque the bolts to. Or tighten pattern, and then torque the bolts to 10 Newton meters. Like I said, I'll put this on the screen. Let's get this installed quickly. Part of the new crankcase cover and gasket came these genuine Triumph bolts, new crank bolts, or crankcase cover bolts, and they've got a form of Loctite on there on the thread, you can see. I'm just going to cut these open, all of these open. As per the instructions, it said make sure that the mating surface is clean. I've just got a bit of green Brillo pad. It's softer than the red one, so I'm just going to clean the surface, make sure that there's nothing hard on there or nothing that can cut the seal. Same in this side, I just need to make sure that this cover is clean. Feels perfect, it feels smooth. It's from factory, so shouldn't be any issues with this side. Okay, let's get the gasket on. There's two locating dowels on the engine casing, so let's put them over that and over that. Then the cover can go on. And then just going to lightly put the bolts in, and then we'll start tightening to the tighten pattern as per Triumph. Wow, my arm is killing me.
If only you had a ratchet screwdriver.
I've got. Okay, awesome. It's torque wrench. So, oh, there. Okay, number one to tighten is that one over there. I've already got the null bar set. It's not.
Not actually set.
Not actually set. I've got the null bar, my torque wrench set to 10 Newton meters. And that says this is number one. This is number two. That's 10. That's the process according to Triumph. Before fitting the oil filter, I normally just like to pre-fill it or pre-soak the filter so that it takes less time to prime, you know, for those first couple turnovers. So let's just pour a tiny bit into the oil filter to pre-soak it. Not too much, otherwise it comes pouring out as soon as you turn on its side. And then I'll just rotate it around a little bit. Cool. While we're waiting for the oil to drain, I thought let's fit the front subframe. So I'm just going to pull these bolts out. There's a little metal bracket on the side here that holds the clutch cable. So I'm going to there was a metal bracket that holds the clutch cable, so must just remember to put that back. Now, the way the subframe goes in, the cabling has to come through the neck of the subframe. So I just got to do that. Make sure everything's in its spot. And then I can put the screws in. Again, not forgetting the little metal bracket that holds the clutch cable. I need to put that like that. Now that we've got front subframe on, we can take the cluster off the old subframe. So that's a 5mm Allen key, and there's 4 of them. There's the cluster. We need to take these rubber grommets out as well, because the new subframe doesn't have them. And I need to take this little hood off. And the little hood is a 3mm Allen key. Now this hood, I'm only putting on temporarily, because in the next video you'll see something that's awesome. I need to put these little rubber grommets in. So it's going very easily. I just gave them a little Sunlight dishwash liquid bath with a toothbrush to make them nice and clean. And then it's these 2 speed nuts. They just slip over like that. And that should just press in. Now that the cluster is snug in its place, I can put the screws that hold it in. Ooh. Ooh. Butterfingers. Not sure if you guys can hear, but my neighbor's garden service is there, so you might just hear a weed eater and a leaf blower nana in the background. Those are nice and snug. You can plug it in. And put the top shroud on, or I think this is called a cockpit cover. I can't remember what it's called. Oil's been draining for quite some time, so now I can put the sump plug back in. I got a new aluminium crush washer that I got from Triumph, so I'm going to put the sump washer in. I've just cleaned it. I'm going to put the sump plug in. I've just cleaned it with some brake and part cleaner. And then I've got my torque wrench set to 18 Newton meters. I'm not 100% certain what the torque spec is on this, but I'll find out. I think 18 is safe. Nah, definitely need to go more than 18. I'm gonna go to 22. Perfect. Now I can fit oil filter. Just give it a bit of a surface cleaner because it's dripped oil all the way down the side of the motor. I'm going to run some more oil down the side of the motor now when I prime it anyway. So I've got my pre-soaked filter, and I grab some oil and rub it around the seal or the O-ring. That on. I'm going to back it off. I'm going to tighten it up just so I can fill the oil, and then I'll back it off when we're ready to do the priming, the oil prime. Like I said earlier, using Motul 7100, it's a 10W60. Bike takes 3.3 liters because I've changed filter. Now I did pre-soak filter, so I'm going to go 3 liters first in the engine, and then I'll pour like 200 or 300 mils into here so that I can get an accurate measurement. I do have the sight glass on the side here that we'll use Nana as well. So that's 1 liter, and then I need 300 mils. Or let's go 200 mils at, like I said, because I pre-soaked the filter. We are going to lose a bit of oil during the fuel system, the oil system priming. But we do have extra we can top up now. I'm just going to put the lid on. If you have a look at the sight glass, we've got enough oil. We're above the max mark, but we are, like I said, we are going to lose some oil when I prime it now. Now that I've got the new filter on, the new oil in, I need to now prime it. Now, from what I've seen and what I've read, we've got to I got to take seats off, lift the tank, and I'm going to unplug the fuel pump, the electrical connections to the fuel pump. I don't want the engine to start because we're trying to prime the oil system, trying to get oil through the entire system. So I don't want the engine to start. Hence why I'm going to unplug that. To do that, I need to pull seats, I need to disconnect battery, pull the battery out. There's two T30s on the right side, two T30s on the left side, and then we've got these two T30s at the front of the tank. Then I've got two T30s at the front of the tank here, and then I can lift the tank to try and unplug the fuel tank connection, fuel pump connection. So let's do that. Oh. I'm making this worse. Let's see if I can find this. There we go. Play fine. There's two T30s that hold the battery down. The battery brace. Batteries held on with an 8 and a 10. Cool. There's this little rubber strap, and then battery can come out. It's a lithium ion battery, so it's very, very light. Let me put that aside. Now, I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see, but if you come have a look here, there's a T30 over there. And there's another T30 deeper inside. And those two T30s are what hold the tank to the subframe. So I need to loosen those. Then it's these two T30s up front here. And we're ready to lift the tank. Not sure how this is going to work out on my own, but we'll see. Luckily, there's no fuel in it, so it's light. Let me grab a towel or something to put down. Got some of this bubble wrap from the parts earlier, I put over there. Can lift the front of the tank to get to the fuel pump connections. Come have a look here. So on the bottom here, we've got the two connections. I've got a clean ice cream tub underneath. I don't know how much of the oil I'm actually going to catch, but I'm going to try. I'll back the filter off a little bit, like that. And now I can try and prime the bike. Let's see if this works. My My bark is not supposed to start. It might start and then cut out, but let's see. Yeah, that was leftover fuel that it had in the system. Here we go. There you can see the oil pouring out. I'm going to tighten it up, and then now I need to reconnect the fuel pump connection, and then we can start the bike and see if there's a oil pressure warning light. I can reconnect the fuel tank. I see the overflow pipes weren't on, so I'm just pushing them on now quickly. Okay. Gonna let that rest down. Now let's see if the bike will start. Hopefully we don't get an oil pressure warning light. Turn off and refill oil quickly, or top up oil. Now that we're primed, I'm going to tighten up the oil filter to its recommended torque. It says 8 to 12, so I'm going 12 Newton meters torque. There we go. That's torqued up. I'm going to write the kilometers on there and the date. I'll do that later. I'm not sure how well you guys can see, but I think that hole is slightly stripped. So I went and bought a M5 by 0.8 tap. It's for a blind hole. So it's also known as a spiral tap. And I'm going to try to see if I can re-tap this thread very carefully. I don't have a tap handle, so I have to use a shifting spanner. Should probably get a tap handle. I think that's sorted. What do you guys think? I think that might hold. Let's test the screw. It's going in the same distance as the bottom, so I think that's right. I'm going to use a bit of Loctite on, just to give it that extra little bit, because obviously the hole was stripped. So I'm going to put it back together for now. I am still going to take it apart and wash the bike, because I've ordered a radiator guard. So when that arrives, this might have to come off anyway. So I'm actually not going to put thread locker on now. That's nice and snug. Back together. So I got a bit carried away with stripping the forks the other night, and I didn't record it, but here they are. I can show you the individual components of the forks and what goes into it. So we've got our tubes. They still have the oil seal in. I haven't pulled the oil seal yet because I'm struggling to get that out. So I'm going to have to pick my mate's brain on how to do that. I've got the dust covers out and the metal retaining clip. Then inside, I've got the stanchions underneath the table. They're busy draining the oil out. But you've got the lower spacer, your main spring. That's some form of guard that goes in the middle of the spring inside the stanchion. That is held down with this little circlip. Then you get the top spacer and the locking nut, which goes all in, like I say, into the stanchion. And then you've got the adjustable, the electronic adjustable dampener, and I think that's you got the electronic cap, which has got preload, and I think that is rebound. I'm not 100% certain. I will confirm that. But basically I've got both forks stripped, and now I'm going to take the tubes and the stanchions to my mate's house and put them on the lathe to see if they spin true. Let's give that a try. That hook here, the bed.
That?
Yeah.
Miles. This way big.
So we'd run dial indicator there and then dial indicator there, or
You can't, because you can't center it. So it's possible like the truck might just be holding it. See, it's got like a little bit of movement in this thing.
yeah, but at least it's not like this.
Yeah, no, it's not bent. That's probably how it always ran. I just wanted to pull it out.
Out.
Yeah, to you. Start, come back again. Let's see. It'll look a whole lot worse now. So it's gonna see. That's like around there.
Maybe.
Yeah. You can put a dial indicator on, but it's like it's like the
We're in
dial-
a 3-jaw anyway, yeah.
No, it's not that. But I mean, for what you're looking for, yeah, you're just gonna.
Yeah, I think primarily I just wanted to make sure it's not like
Nah.
seriously out. Oh. So the forks are good.
Yeah, so all the books.
I've had to order some tools to drive the seals in and work on the forks because these forks work with an air gap. So I know I can make a tool to get the air gap, but I thought I'd just order. It's a lot easier. So unfortunately I'm waiting on those tools to arrive. and I can't continue working on the forks until those do. So, and I want to get the forks on the back on the bike and the wheel back on the bike before I do anything further front end wise. So that's going to be the end of today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video.